And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly fantastic day today. So we got a short episode today, but we're going to discuss former Laker great, Laker legend, James Worthy, who played with the great Magic Johnson, played with the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar towards the end of his career, apparently had a blunder where the mic was still hot and caught him being sarcastic about Bronny James, caught him expressing more of his true feelings about the Lakers coaching situation. And, we all know that to be in mainstream media, that you basically have to cater to whatever the narrative is. So, hearing James Worthy praise LeBron James for ridiculous things always bothers me a bit. But I have great respect for James Worthy, former Laker great, for what he did for the game, for being a part of those championship runs. But anyway, let's check out this article from fadeawayworld.net. Says, James Worthy went off on Bronny James and the Lakers while on a hot mic after being live for J.J. Redick's first Lakers press conference. Lakers franchise legend James Worthy was caught on a hot mic after J.J. Redick's introductory press conference, as Worthy and his co-hosts on Spectrum Sports Net were unknowingly trashing the Lakers and Bronny James to a public audience. Worthy brought up the Celtics winning a title the right way, while lamenting all the stars that have been traded, shading GM Rob Pelinka and Governor Jeannie Buss. They, unknown, presumably the Celtics, did it right. They took their time. They waited. While we were trading Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, Contavious Caldwell-Pope, brother up in Sacramento, Malik Monk gone, and then we weren't getting anything for it. Russell Westbrook gone. The ink will lead back to the problem. Worthy's co-host was heard expressing his dismay about the fact that they're hosting their third coach's unveiling in 5 seasons. After that, Worthy took a pop at Bronny James, widely expected to be the Lakers selection with the 55th pick in the draft. Who we gonna be waiting for on the second day? Well, he's the greatest young player ever right now. Bronny, that's what I'm gonna say. This is very embarrassing. This is a very embarrassing situation for all parties involved. Worthy has been critical of the Lakers on air, but he's never been as dismissive of the franchise as he was in these recordings. He was still tamer than one of the other hosts, who continued mocking the franchise decision and discussing them sarcastically. There shouldn't really be major consequences for this, as Worthy didn't emphatically name and shame anybody outside his very snarky comment about Bronny James. That could become problematic if the team actually ends up drafting him, and Worthy has to analyze the move by pretending this hot mic incident never happened. This is a franchise that will move on from legends if they upset the brass, as Magic Johnson and Jerry West have found out in recent seasons. Hopefully, Worthy doesn't have to face any consequences for unknowingly being caught on a hot mic and being upset at the Lakers' missteps up until now. And the article goes on, but I think we all get the gist of what's happening. So again, to me, it's just more confirmation of the things that we already thought. And what I really want to know is how James Worthy truly feels. What I mean is when he's amongst his friends who he can trust, that he doesn't have to worry about going to the press and that kind of thing. I wonder what he really feels about the Lakers. Because to me, someone like James Worthy, who bleeds purple and gold, I would imagine it has to be traumatic to watch your franchise being eroded away, mostly because of one player. Now, again, I said this on another video. I don't put this solely on LeBron because the people at top have to be responsible for letting him do this. And the other thing that I mentioned in the video is that the Lakers do have a history of going through quite a few coaches. There's only been a few coaches in the Lakers history that's really held on for longer than a few years. Phil Jackson being one of them, and I think Pat Riley, and then it was another guy, like I said, who was actually before they became the Los Angeles Lakers. I think they were still in Minneapolis. Yeah, I would really like to know what his real thoughts and feelings are on this. And then, of course, the comments again about Bronny. Again, this is completely ridiculous that Bronny is getting so much shine from, and as you know, anybody who watched the draft yesterday knows that he didn't get his name called yet. But this is so ridiculous that we are talking about this kid so much. And again, let me say this. I have no ill will towards Bronny James. I have a feeling that a lot of this has been thrust upon him, and I'm sure he wants to be in the NBA. As most kids who are interested in basketball, who have any kind of passion for the sport, wants to be in the NBA. But again, I think this is going to come back to bite him, especially if he really doesn't ever turn out to be anything more than a baseline role player. I think this is going to come back to bite him. I think he's going to look back and wish, if he actually has aspirations of becoming a really good player someday, I think he's going to look back on this and wish he had done it another way. Wish he had, stood up to the expectations and just told everybody, hey, look, I'm going to go to college again. I'm going to spend another couple of years in college trying to work on my game so that when I come into the NBA, I can say I actually earned it. Because right now, the whole thing is a joke, and it's just going to continue to get worse. And you're being put into a situation where, unfortunately, your father's antics has already made him, again, one of the most disliked athletes in the history of the game. Again, fanboys, if you don't like it, go cry in the corner. All you got to do is look this up. I'm not telling you something that's not the truth. LeBron James is, if you Google most hated athletes, LeBron James' names comes up. So, Bronny James is being thrust into this situation where his father, who has all this need for praise and attention, all this media manipulation, again, who has people basically watching the people in mainstream media to make sure that they push out the narratives about this guy that Clutch Sports wants put out. Again, if going back to the Michael Jordan days, as much as Michael Jordan was praised, they were also trying to bring him down, with the whole gambling scandals that took place and all of that kind of thing. They were trying to bring Michael Jordan down. If something unfavorable came out about Michael Jordan, they didn't hesitate to put that out. Now, ironically, we still haven't heard any mainstream media actually address these PED allegations about LeBron James. So while they talk about LeBron James being the most scrutinized athlete ever, they should also include that LeBron James is also the most protected athlete ever. Because why haven't we heard these PED allegations addressed? I guarantee you, if this was back in the 90s and Michael Jordan had this kind of scandal, I guarantee you it would have been all over the news, just like his gambling. So yeah, Bronny James is being kind of thrust into this situation. I have a feeling, despite all this talk that the media is putting out about Bronny trying to be his own man, which is false, because if he was, I feel like he would just stand up to this and say, look, I'm not going to do it this way. But I feel like he is being pressured in a lot of ways. I feel like he's been under pressure since his father's been putting out that narrative about getting to play with his son. And then you coming into a situation, again, with the master manipulator. Again, LeBron James still has not officially re-signed to the Lakers. And again, there's been talk about, I heard Nick Wrong, aka Gonzo, on what was it? First Take or First Things First, I guess it's the name of the show. I heard him on there talking about, it's still potentially LeBron could leave, and it sounds like basically what LeBron has always done is use these contracts to try to force teams into doing exactly what he wants, which this is James Worthy's frustration, right? He's talking about like we traded away all of these players. When LeBron first got to the Lakers, they had a lot of young players that I think would have paid off had they kept. Let me. They had a lot of young players that would have paid off in the future had they not got LeBron James, because LeBron James is a team ruiner. He ruins your team because he can only play one way. Because he's unwilling to learn, he thinks he knows it all. He's unwilling. Let me tell you, a person who's a know-it-all is bad for the team. Say what you want about Michael Jordan. You can say he was hard on his teammates. You can say he was an a-hole to his teammates. But the bottom line is he held his teammates accountable. But what Michael Jordan wasn't was a know-it-all. He wasn't a know-it-all. Again, he was coachable. And because of that allowed the Chicago Bulls to actually join together as a true team, not this fake team stuff that LeBron James has, because it's all passive aggressive. It's smile in your face. All the time he wants to trade your place for another player if you're not doing if you're not making him look good, like J.R. Smith said. So yeah, I think James Worthy's frustrations are completely understandable. And again, I always apologize to Lakers fans. I feel bad for you guys, but at this point, like I said, it's out of our control. So to me, just enjoy the entertainment of it. Again, not the basketball entertainment part, the soap opera entertainment part of it. That's the only thing that you can do, because this is going to continue. I mean, again, this is amazing. Like, next season hasn't even started, and we got JJ Redick with all the racial slur allegations. We got JJ Redick coming on talking about he doesn't give a F what people think. And I've had a couple of people comment in my comments saying that's the way you're supposed to think. There's some truth to that statement, but again, it's situational, right? You're not supposed to care what people think about you in terms of how you're living your life, so to speak. And even that one is like, if you're living wrong and people are trying to check you on that, it would behoove you to listen. Again, it's things like we talk about on this channel about if you're chasing money, you're never ever going to feel completely fulfilled. Like, you have to be chasing a purpose that's greater than money, that means something more than just money. But yeah, so there's times to not care what people think about you. But let me say this. When people are paying you to do something, you better care what they think, because they're responsible for putting the money in your pocket. Like if people are paying you to do a job, and that's the way I look at the relationship between the NBA and the fans. Yes, the owners pay the players and the coaches and whatnot, but ultimately, without the fans, the whole thing doesn't work. So, to get up there and say you don't give a F, again, to me, it's about addressing things with a certain amount of class and humility so that people understand that you are grateful for the opportunity that you have. And that's not JJ Redick. That's not LeBron James. These are two cocky, arrogant individuals who really don't care about what the fans thinks. And again, expect much more of this, y'all. This next season hasn't even hit, and we are already getting some gems. So we gonna hold up here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think of James Worthy having to slip up over the hot mic and, basically saying what he felt about the Lakers having traded away their future? Basically saying what he felt about Bronny James, like, hey, well, I'm just going to say he's the greatest young player we've ever seen, being sarcastic about Bronny James. But let me know what you guys think. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.